Hello everyone and welcome back to part 5 of our Computer Basics series. This is the final part of the series where we will be talking about internet safety. Just a warning, this will not make you an expert on all things computer safety. We will be just covering the basics to be able to make it so that you should be able to navigate the internet safely without worry. So today we will be covering security features that are innate in your browser of choice. We will be talking about malware, password strength, phishing and spam, as well as online shopping. So let's go ahead and get started with our first topic, talking about those security features in your browser. All right, let's dive in and take a look at some security features that come naturally on your browser that can help protect you from all kinds of different threats in the online world. But before we take a look at that, what exactly are we afraid of here? What exactly are we in danger of by navigating the internet? It's not like someone can reach through my computer and punch me in the face or anything like that. Of course not. It's not anything that physical. The two things that we are worried might happen by navigating the internet is we will, well, whatever. You might get malware, which is basically some software that gets downloaded onto your computer that can mess up your computer, like a computer virus, or it could weaken your computer's defenses, allowing for people to be able to steal your information, which of course is the second thing, someone taking your information, which people can get access to your information even without malware. So that's it. So computer viruses and information being stolen, mostly because of downloading malware, which will either be a virus or be a way for someone to steal your information. Hopefully that all makes sense. It will make more sense as we continue on throughout this video. So let's go ahead and get started with taking a look at the security features. Okay, here we are on my desktop home screen here. I've got 3 different browser options here. I've got Firefox, Google Chrome, and Microsoft Edge. We've talked about Google Chrome the most, so let's go ahead and take a look at Google Chrome. Alrighty, and I'm going to go ahead and log into my own account here. Bring that back here onto this page. So my camera is probably covering this up here in the top right-hand corner, so I'm going to move this a little bit so that you can see it. But do you see this button right up here? This is called the Kebab button. That's in the top right-hand corner of our browser. And what I'd like for you to do is get into the habit of every time you turn on your browser, you load that up, I would like for you to click on that and take a look and see if you see any updates here. Now, I don't see any updates. It would say like Google Chrome has an update if there is some sort of update. But just to double check and make sure, we can click on settings and we can come down to about Chrome and we can see that it is up to date there. You don't have to go into the settings and look at this to know that it's up to date. If you click on this button that says, or the Kebab button up here, it will tell you if there's an update that you have not installed. Okay. The reason why it's so important to make sure that you've got the most up-to-date version installed is because they are consistently updating their security measures. And if you've got the most up-to-date version, then you're doing yourself the biggest favor by making sure that you have got the best up-to-date defenses. Okay. The next thing that your browser will do is, go to a website, there is this lock that you will see up here in the top left-hand corner. All browsers will do this. It will show you this lock, and if you click on it, it says connection is secure. What that means is that this website is doing everything that it can to prevent any sort of security breaches of any kind. So basically someone coming in and stealing your information, that malware being installed, all that stuff. Is it possible for it to still happen even with that little lock on the screen? Yes, but the company's doing everything that it can to protect you. So having that little lock up there is going to be always a good thing. But what is it that makes that lock appear? I'll tell you about that. This lock is always tied to when a website has, let me double click on the website link here. It's when it has an HTTPS. That S stands for security. And if there's no S, that means that there's no extra security there, which if you're just starting out and learning about the internet, I would just recommend that you do not go to any website that does not have an HTTPS at the beginning of it. Say, for example, I would like to learn about tacos in Kokomo tacos, right? So I could click on that there. And the nice thing about looking up food and locations to shop is those results pop up here at the top, and they'll even pop up on the map. But what we want to take a look at is, let's scroll down here and let's take a look at the links that will appear at the very top here. Of each individual section. So we can see Yelp.com's got an HTTPS, TripAdvisor's got an S there, the Kokomo Post's got an S, Facebook an S. We'll keep on scrolling through here, and we can see that pretty much everything on the front page here has got an S. But there's lots of different pages that we can go through here on Google. And by page 10, who knows, we might not be so lucky, by finding, websites that are always going to be secure. The final thing that your browser is going to do to be able to increase their security is to recognize when there is malware on a website and prevent you from going there. So what is going to happen is you're going to get an alert on your screen when you go to a website that is a little sketch, and it's going to pop up and it's going to look like this. It's going to have that triangle with the exclamation point in the top left-hand corner, and it's going to have that back to safety in the bottom right-hand corner. What I would recommend that you do, just starting out and getting on the internet, always click that back to safety button, get out of there, because that website is one that you should not go to. Okay, so there we go. Those are the 3 security features that we've got. We've got to make sure that our browser is up to date. We've got to make sure that those websites have that lock, and we've got to make sure that we don't click on any websites that are going to take us to any bad places. And if we accidentally do, that our browser is going to try to stop us from going any further, and we're going to click on that back to safety button. Now, let us talk about malware a little bit more. What exactly is malware? All right, according to Google.com's definition here on the Oxford dictionary definitions, looks like malware is software that is specifically designed to disrupt, damage, or gain unauthorized access to a computer system. So how do we prevent malware from being installed on our computer here? Don't go and download anything that you are not sure is a reputable source. Pretty much everything ever that has been made digitally is available on the internet. Could I go in and download a movie from 1970 that's not streaming anywhere and it's not currently being played on any television channel, or there's no DVD available for it? Probably. Should I do it? No, it is unethical to do it, 1, and 2, it opens yourself up to malware being installed with that DVD or with that movie that you're trying to find, and of course that is an issue. We do not want for you to get any viruses on your computer. A computer virus is pretty much the same thing as a virus that impacts your body. It hampers functions, so if you've got, say, for example, you've got the flu, you're feeling really groggy, you've got maybe a cough, a stuffy nose, really, your head is not feeling good. And probably you're not going to be able to function like you normally would because you have that virus. Computer virus, same thing. If you've got that virus that's been downloaded onto your computer, there are functions that could be removed. Every virus is different, so it's hard for me to say what is typically will happen. But it's possible that every time that you get online after this virus has been installed, all kinds of different pop-ups appear, which are basically ads for things that you don't want, and all kinds of other things happen. So the way to prevent that better than anything else is to have some malware prevention software installed on your computer. We here at the library use the company Malwarebytes to make sure that security is top-notch here at the library. There is even a free download option available for people to be able to get a little bit of their service. But then, of course, the personal plan is going to be, it's going to protect you even better. Now, there are many other malware prevention, companies out there. So talk to a technology expert that and see what they recommend, because the best defense is going to be common sense, just making sure that you're not doing anything unethical, because the more that you are browsing popular sites that everyone goes to, the safer that you're going to be. The more that you go into the darkness of the web, the less safe that you're going to be, right? And so talk to a technology expert and see that in your life, and see what kind of malware protection software they recommend. But then also going beyond that, don't click on anything that you do not know 100% what it is. So now let's talk about spam and phishing a little bit here. Also with spam, let's talk about pop-ups, okay? A pop-up looks like this. And it's really, the bad ones are the things that are too good to be true kind of sounding. If you ever see an alert that's like, oh, you could win $1 million, or like, oh, free money, or like anything like this, if it sounds too good to be true on the internet, it 100% is, and you should stay away from it, okay? Now let's get a better example of what exactly spam and phishing is. All right, so here I am in my own personal email account here. As we mentioned in the last video talking about email, we talked about the inbox, the sent folder, all of these other options here. And then the spam folder is where it catches all of the different things that your email thinks is not something that you asked for. What spam is, it is basically unsolicited things coming into your email that it might have phishing in it, which phishing is when someone is trying to get you to respond to them to get your information in a bad way, right? So let's take a look at some of these spam emails here, and I'll be able to better demonstrate for you some things to look out for. So we've got a name that I am unfamiliar here with, of this person that is sending me an email. So if an email comes into your inbox and it is something that is an email address you're not familiar with, or a person's name that you're not familiar with, that's some good evidence that it is spam. But let's also take a look at what's going on in the text here. It says, "Dear friend, I came across your email contact prior to a private search while in need of a trusted person. My name is a single mother and a widow of 3 children. I am the only biological daughter of late Libyan president, late Colonel Mamar, whatever the guy's name is. I have a business proposal for you worth $27.5 million, and I need mutual respect, trust, honesty, transparency at a blah, 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 blah from there." Okay, this person wants to get into business with me for a chance for me to be in on something that could maybe get me $27.5 million. Wow, amazing that somebody got my email, that I didn't even request this. They're calling me a dear friend, and I could get millions of dollars. Well, just like I said earlier, if it is too good to be true sounding, it 100% is. This is a spam email. And if I reach out back to this person and I start a conversation with them, they're going to want to get that personal information from me. They're going to want to get my social security number. They're going to want to get my bank account information. They're going to want to get maybe my credit card information, my address, all kinds of other stuff. And then once they get that information, they could steal from me. But using that common sense, is it realistic that somebody out of the blue is going to email me and actually legitimately give me $27.5 million? No. So what we're going to do is we are going to delete forever this email, and we're going to wipe our hands of it and not worry about it anymore. So that is a pretty good example of what spam looks like. And once again, phishing is just someone trying to get you to respond with personal information of some kind. It might not even be your own personal information. It might be information about the business that you work for, which is also just as bad, because you don't want for the company that you work for to, suffer some kind of, downfall because of, phishing, right? So that is phishing. We've talked about those security features. We've talked about malware, and we've talked about phishing. Now let's talk about online shopping. And with that, creating accounts for different websites and password protection. So let's talk about passwords first. Okay, so here I am on Amazon.com. This is one of the biggest websites in the world, and it has made a name for itself with a good reputation. So if you are going to participate in online shopping, Amazon.com or eBay are two websites that have a decent enough reputation where being scammed is unlikely. Is it possible still? Yes, there is always that looming threat of potential danger in the online shopping world, but you're less likely to have it happen on Amazon or on eBay because of their high reputation for good service. So let's take a look here. To be able to use Amazon.com, I'm going to need to create an account. So if I click on start here, it's going to ask for me to put in some personal information here, okay? And the main thing that I want for us to take a look at is this password here. It says passwords must be at least 6 characters. What that means is, it could be a letter, an uppercase or a lowercase letter. It could be a number, and it also could be a symbol of some kind. So we're talking like your exclamation points, your at symbols, your question marks, things like that. 6 characters is not, however, a lot of characters. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create a stronger password by doing more than 6 characters. And what we want is to put into our password, we're going to want 3 things. We're going to want, well, 4 things, I guess. We're going to want upper and lowercase letters in our password. We're going to want numbers, and we're going to want symbols in there. By having that wide variety, if somebody's going to try to steal your password, it is way less likely for them to be able to get it, because we're going to use more than 6 characters. We're going to use a variety of uppercase and lowercase letters. We're going to use numbers and symbols. It's just a lot for the hacker to try to get to. So that's what we're going to do. So let me give you an example of a fairly decent password to be able to use here. Okay. So is the word password a good password? No, because that is a fairly common password, and it's only, either uppercase or lowercase letters. There's no numbers, and there is no, symbols of any kind. Okay. The best kind of password is really just a random string of numbers, letters, and things like that that doesn't mean anything. But that can be very difficult for us to remember. So I'm going to type it up here so that you can see it, but we will be using that as our password. So if I had a password that was like something like this, something like that, and continuing on the string there, that is an incredibly difficult password for someone to get into, but it's also very difficult for me to remember. So that may end up with me having to write the password down somewhere, and then somebody could potentially find that password, which is also a problem. So if you're just starting out on the internet and you want to, have a decent password, what I would recommend is using like a word or phrase that is not something that is super important, in terms of like legal documents to you. So never use your birthday, never use, your birth year, never use, like your address or your name or, your kid's name, anything that is too easy for someone to be able to guess. What you're going to want to do is say, for example, there's a book that you really like, and there is, a book character or a phrase that they say or something like that. Throw that in, make that your password, and then mix it up with some numbers and some special characters. And that is way safer than having, say, for example, my birthday's in, say my birthday's this month in August, saying like August of 2000, that's not a good password. Okay. But of course, you're really going to want to make sure that you pick a password that you are yourself going to remember. So once you, if you can remember it, great. If you need to write it down, just make sure that you keep it in a place that, isn't easily found. Don't like tape it to your monitor on your computer. Keep it in your wallet or someplace where, it's less likely for someone to just see it. Okay. So last, let's talk about that online shopping here. Okay, so we're at Amazon.com, a place where we can go and we can type in pretty much anything and we'll be able to find it. So, like right here, it looks like the top deals, looks like a toothbrush here. So if I click on this, I can see the toothbrush here. I can scroll down and I can see some more information about it. When you are doing online shopping, one thing that I would like for you to always, always, always look at is the reviews that are on here. As you can see, this toothbrush that I clicked on has 79,439 ratings. If we click on this little drop down here, we can see that 78% of those are 5 stars, 13% are 4 stars, and less than 5% are any of the lower numbers. So does that mean that this is probably a really decent toothbrush? Yeah, absolutely. And we can even take that even further by scrolling down here on Amazon. We can look at the different questions that people ask about the toothbrush, and we can even take a look at the reviews that people have left about it. I would always recommend that you take a look at reviews before you buy anything. If there is ever something that you want to buy and there are no reviews or very few reviews, and all of those reviews are just like, it's great, those could be fake reviews. So definitely look at that with some hesitance. But if it's got, 78,000 is so many reviews. So some of them have got to be trustworthy. And so I would say that you are in pretty good shape to be able to buy this toothbrush without any sort of issues there. Now let's take a look at eBay. All right, so here we are on eBay.com. So this is a place for people to be able to sell things themselves, if you've never heard of it before. And what you can do is, you can scroll through here and, click on the different options, or you could even search just like you can on Amazon. I'll show you the search bar up here at the top. You can search for whatever it is that you are looking for. So I'll just click through some of the options here. Maybe I'm looking for a special toy for, a child in my life, maybe an action figure. And we can see, some of the, let's see, maybe we're looking for a toy made by Hasbro. All right, and we can see some of the different options here. So let's take a look and let's click on one here. All right, so here we are on this toy that we have clicked on. It is a Hasbro Marvel Legends Stan Lee, it looks like there. And we can look at the seller's information here on the right-hand side. And when we see that, it says that this is directly from Hasbro, it looks like. And it says 99.2% positive feedback. The higher the score of positive feedback, the more likely that you are dealing with a reputable person, and which is what we always want to be doing. We want to make sure that if we're going to be doing online shopping at all, that we are dealing with someone who's got really good positive feedback, really good reviews on these items, so that we are not ever going to be ordering something that ultimately leaves us disappointed, right? So that is the main things that I want for you to make sure that you're looking at. I really want for you to make sure that you check the reviews and that you do some research on the seller to be able to make sure that they're going to be somebody that you can trust. Okay. Last thing here. So if you're going to be doing online shopping, and there is some inherent danger with online shopping. There is, you are putting your personal information out there. To be able to online shop, you got to put your credit card information out there. You've got to put your address out there and things like that. So you're going to want to make sure that the places that you're doing this online shopping is as safe as possible. I mentioned Amazon and eBay. Are those the only two places you can buy stuff online? No, there are thousands of different places that you can buy stuff online. Are they all good? No. But are they all bad? No. So what I want for you to get into the habit of doing is, if maybe you're looking for some sort of rare collectible item, I want for you to, if you find that rare collectible item, I want for you to do some research on Google. So for example, alrighty. So what I want for you to do is I want for you to look up on Google to see if the website that you're trying to buy stuff from is safe. So let's type in, is eBay safe to buy from? There we go. And let's take a look at some of the different websites on here. It says you can buy safely from eBay. In fact, eBay is safer than someone's personal website because of the third-party involvement of eBay and PayPal. eBay.com is safe to use. eBay is safe thanks to money back guarantee, non-delivery scam. Let's see. Well, don't worry about that one. Buying on eBay is quite safe for buyers. So as you can see, more often than not here, by a lot of different websites that have that S on here, so you know that they've got that security. It's saying that eBay is safe for us. And so you should be able to shop there with a reasonable amount of confidence. Okay. So there you have it. We have gone over all of the basics of the internet security there. We've talked about the security features in your browser. We've talked about malware and how it's bad and we never want it. We have talked about password strength. We talked about spam and phishing. And of course, we've talked about online shopping. So with all of these things, if you go by everything that we talked about in this video, you should be able to navigate the internet with some decent amount of confidence here. That does not by any means make me or you an expert in internet safety, but just use your common sense and don't go anywhere that or do anything that's unethical or illegal or anything bad. Thank you so much for watching. And we will see you in the next Digital Den mini class. Bye.